Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Detroit Lions 24-9 victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Unbelievably complete victory here. This was honestly truly a defensive masterpiece, and Jahmyr Gibbs also had a masterpiece on offense. We're going to rattle through, first off, this 2-for-1 special. Servassier, Dennis, and Zion McCollum. And he ends up running. This is like the second play of the game. This is the second play of the game. Jahmyr Gibbs had 136 rushing, 2 touchdowns. He also had 82 yards receiving, including this long of a 30. Right away, Tampa's actually gotten burnt quite a bit this season on these screen plays. This is Servassier, and they somehow do not tackle. I guess that's not easy to tackle Jahmyr Gibbs, but he makes them both miss. The energy was through the roof. Fans, players. This was, I mean, 24-9 is a pretty nice win, but this was truly just, like I said, a masterpiece. A couple of plays later, they do what they do best. Amon-Ra St. Brown dragging across the field here, and Jacob Parrish, defensive back for Tampa, is actually going to slip, but Amon-Ra had him beat anyways, and they're going to score on their first drive of this football game, and from here on out, it was pure, utter domination. Jared Goff, 20-29, 241 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have an interception. And really, you know, they said this so much on the announcer, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, the announcers. They said this so much, but truly could have been a complete and utter blowout. It was only 14-3 heading into halftime. And this was, I'll show you the Jahmyr Gibbs other touchdown right after this. I mean, it was Detroit right away. Third down conversions was really kind of the driving force in the first half, the reason it wasn't a complete and utter blowout. They had like 300 yards of offense halfway through the second quarter, and you know, the second half kind of just game managing from there on out. They finished with 375 yards, but we got this rapid reaction, and I'm yapping a little too much. So this was a crazy football game as far as just physicality goes, and you know, obviously the Lions secondary is completely decimated, and we'll talk about that probably here in this next clip. But Jahmyr Gibbs, player of the game, offense and defense. I mean, he did a little bit of everything. I'm not great at math here. He had like 210-ish yards from scrimmage, 2 total touchdowns, including this long of 78. This is actually going to be the second quickest run or speed, top speed of this season in the entire NFL. Jahmyr Gibbs has the first place. This was second place. NFL copyright super lame, so I apologize, folks. This is just a rapid reaction. But I did want to show you a couple of things on this in particular before we get to the All-22, which, by the way, guys, hit that like button. As always, trying to muster up as much energy as I can. It's always so late here on the East Coast when these football games end. Really nice block here on the edge, Sam Laporta. And it's really hard to see. Tate Ratledge, in my opinion, like, I'll even just show you right here. Jahmyr Gibbs pretty much just got the football. Here's the line of scrimmage, obviously, in blue. Look at all of this separation already before the play, before Jahmyr Gibbs has even gotten into it. And you can't really see, but Tate Ratledge on this play is just moving bodies. He's moving bodies. They get double teams right out of the gate. Double team, double team. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to hit the linebacker. Zion McCollum's not positioned well. Great block here. I think that's Tate. Actually, that was Pine, who also had a phenomenal blocking game that you'll see in a couple of these clips. It's hard to see from this broadcast angle, so you know, check out the All-22 video in a day or two. But this offensive line, they were moving the Buccaneers' defensive line as whatever. 164 rushing yards, 5.1 yards per carry. Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 carries, averaged 8 yards per carry in this game, including this 78-yard touchdown. All right, finally, some defense. Guys, the defense is the name of the game. They did such a phenomenal job. The secondary did a great job, and we'll get to some of these turnovers in just a second. Baker Mayfield threw the ball 50 times in this game for only 228 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And as a rushing team, Tampa only ran the ball for 42 yards. I know there was no Bucky Irving. Oops, sorry. Oh, my goodness. Hey, I'm tweaking. All right, I'm just going to show you this play, and we'll get into it. Derek Barnes going to come in here with the sack. But there's a couple of things at play here. So first off, Al-Qadim Muhammad on the inside, he's going to drop back into coverage. All right. We have Aleem McNeil on the inside getting double teamed, and he's really just going to keep this pile moving. Derek Barnes going to get credited for the sack. We got Aiden Hutchinson out here. But Aleem McNeil making his 2025 regular season debut. Welcome back, Aleem McNeil. He keeps bulldozing through two guys and collapses this pocket or breaks up this pocket, and Baker's got to get out of here a little bit. Now, Al-Kadeen, who, like we said, drops back into coverage, he sees this. He gets downhill attacks. Baker makes him miss, and then we have a little Aiden. But Derek Barnes is going to get credited for this sack, and Derek Barnes had numerous great plays in this game. All right, guys, first turnover of the football game. Clip starts a little bit late, so apologies. We're going to get just a little cross. Amik Robertson's going to come in here and make the play. So keep in mind, there's no Brian Branch. There's no Kirby Joseph. There's no Terrion Arnold. There's no Ennis Rakestraw. There's no DJ Reed. I don't think Avonte Maddox was also injured in this football game. The secondary almost felt like a preseason game because even like Rocky Yassin had a stinger at some point in the second half, and you're having guys who are like making their NFL debuts, but Amik Robertson, you see this arm, this punch getting in there, and he does just that, and then we got a kind of crazy mess going on, and then I don't know if that's Jack Campbell or whoever falls onto this for the fumble recovery. Oh, Aiden Hutchinson looks like he comes away with this fumble recovery, but great little Peanut Tillman-esque, the peanut punch, punches this ball out, turnover Detroit, and this was, I think, right after, or actually, no, it'll make sense in the next clip. All right, once again, the clip starts a little bit too late here. So after that turnover I just showed you, Jake Bates missed a 50-yarder. I don't think the Lions were able to get a first down. And you see journeyman Arthur Mollett here. And this is just an insane play. So Cade Otton kind of bobbling this. And this was a really interesting play because so they called this a catch for Cade Otton. Here's Cade Otton wide open. Ball's overthrown. And this is kind of just a tough angle to show you because this is just the broadcast angle. But Arthur Mollett, he gets his hands up in here, and you can see it looks like an interception. Now, they called this a catch on Cade Otton. And whether you think this was an interception or not, I think this was an interception. Or at least, the very least, I don't think Cade Otton has possession of this football. I'm still, nonetheless, shocked and surprised that they called this they overturned it and gave the Detroit Lions. I really could not believe that they overturned this. But this was a phenomenal play from Arthur Mollett, not giving up on this, and ultimately, especially against a big boy Cade Otton, some way, somehow, getting this interception. These guys were fighters on the back end tonight. Fast forward, getting close to the end of the third quarter. It's 14-9. Tampa Bay starts off the second half. They go down the field. They score a touchdown. They don't get the 2-point conversion. At this point, it's only a 5-point game, and it did not feel like a 5-point game. The Detroit Lions should have been blowing them out. And Jahmyr Gibbs gets his second touchdown of the day or the night here. And I love the blocking. And once again, it's really hard to see from this angle. Penei Sewell is like, it's almost unbelievable. Sewell gets hyped up so much in the NFL media, and it's almost like he even deserves more credit than he gets because this guy is just a beast. You see him kind of getting to that second level here, occupying the linebacker. Jahmyr Gibbs goes right up the gut because Christian Mahogany here on the left guard right here, he actually gets beat right there. Zion McCollum, number 27, cuts in. This looks like it should be a gain of 1 or 2 yards. Get to a second and goal for Detroit, but he spins out of this and scores another Detroit Lion touchdown. All right, guys, we're going to end it here. I apologize. I thought there was a clip, but there isn't. This was to seal the deal, and I just had to give some props to this player right here, number 38, Nick Whiteside, because I believe this was his NFL debut. He had a huge 2-point conversion, pass breakup. He had a huge pass breakup a couple of plays before this, and another one right here on the final play of the football game. And I'm sorry I don't have a clip, but stay tuned. We got plenty of Lions content as the week progresses. Next 2 weeks progress because the Lions have a bye week. This was a huge win. The energy was awesome. Tough loss to a great Kansas City Chiefs team, and I just couldn't imagine the Detroit Lions being 4-3 heading into their bye, especially the way they've looked in this first month and a half of the season. So folks, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this rapid reaction. We'll see you tomorrow with a more in-depth film video, but let me know your player of the game and any thoughts you have. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the victory bye week, and we will see you soon.